Good morning and welcome to 15 minutes of motivation. My name is Kate Batten, and this, for the next 15 minutes, is your and my time to really connect on a deeper level, on a deeper subject that you really need help with in your life, and to help you get over whatever is bothering you in your life right now. I'm just hoping that these 15 minutes that we spend together each and every Monday actually helps you, because helping you really helps me on my journey, and it's something that I've learned over the past 8 years of actually coaching and working with people, is that the more that we help people, the more that we feel whole, and the more that we learn about ourselves by learning about each other, or learning to help people. So the topic of conversation today is self-care. Now, for the past 2 days, I have been on bed rest because I caught a cold on Friday. And because I just actually got out of having pleurisy, you can imagine my disappointment when I'd actually come up with a cold on Friday, when I had a sore throat and I'd started sniffling, and I was like, oh no. Oh no, I've just healed from pleurisy after being sick for 5 months. Did I really need this cold now to knock me off my feet? Now, usually 5 years ago, no, actually less, I would say 3 years ago, I would completely ignore it, carry on working, carry on pushing myself to the point of breaking point. Now I don't do that. Now, as soon as I feel it, I rest. I know definitely that I need to put myself on bed rest. I need to self-care. I need to look after myself, and I need to respect myself. And this is something that a lot of people don't do. We are too busy placing everybody else in front of us, or everybody else first, that we forget about ourselves, especially mums, okay? Especially working mums. We do it all the time. We place our children first, our job first, our husbands or spouses first, and we forget about ourselves. So then when we do get to the point where we are sick, we then feel guilty for being sick. So what I wanted to do in this podcast today is really highlight self-care, how important it is to you, and how you should fetch it into your everyday life. And when I'm talking about everyday life, I mean, have a time in your life where you cut off from absolutely everything and you relax. Now, this could be, I don't know, if you're like me and you are a morning person, then your time, your self-care time that you really place just for you and nobody else, and you set it aside in that day just for you, could be in the morning, first thing in the morning, because that's what I do. For my first hour in the morning, from 6 a.m. till 7 a.m., it's for me. It's whatever that I need to get done in that time for me. So on a Monday, it's this podcast, okay? On a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's reading, or it's just journaling, or it's just making notes, or it's writing down ideas. But the thing is, I gift myself that time to enable me to carry on for the rest of the day. Now, if you're a mum and you've got small children at home, that could be on an evening when your kids are in bed. It could be a hot bubble bath. It could be relaxing. It could be, I don't know, taking yourself for a manicure during the day while the kids are at school. I don't know, whatever it is, self-care should be a vital point of your life. Self-respect, because that's what it is. You're respecting the fact that you need care. You're respecting the fact that you are loving yourself. You are respecting the fact that if you don't respect yourself, how could you be any good for other people? Because we don't. We always put ourselves last, and I've done it. I'm guilty of it. I put my hands up to it. I did it for many years. But what I'm stating in this podcast to you today is that what a turnaround it is for me now, to actually, when I feel a cold coming on or I don't feel very well, instantly it's like, that's it. I'm not doing anything for the weekend. I'm on bed rest. I'm looking after myself. I'm respecting myself. I'm not doing anything. Even though that bed rest is absolutely boring, and for me it is really hard to do because I'm used to being on the go all the time. So you can imagine that when I do get sick, it's hard for me to do. It's a hard discipline to do. But that's where it comes in, because it's self-discipline. You have to be disciplined with yourself to provide yourself with the self-care that you deserve. So where do you really respect yourself in your life? Where do you self-care? Where do you actually do it? Do you actually do it, or do you just completely ignore it, carry on, wear yourself to absolute exhaustion, and put yourself last? Because that's what I used to do, and I wasn't no good for anybody else. I wasn't no good in my job. I wasn't no good as a wife. I wasn't no good as a mom, because I used to push myself to the extreme, forget about myself, and place everybody else before me. I turned that around, and I started placing 1 hour in a day for myself, and that was first thing in the morning. And even when my children actually lived at home, I did the same thing. I got up at 5 a.m. and I had my hour from 5 a.m. till 6 a.m. when the kids were at home, because I knew they were sleeping. I knew they wouldn't be needing me. I knew they would be not bothered. I knew that nobody wanted me because everybody was asleep. The house was quiet. The entire world was quiet. This was time for Kate to respect herself and do what she wanted to do, whether it's mind dumping and getting all the information out of my mind and scheduling it, whether it's making notes, whether it's just writing down project ideas, whether it's journaling, whether it's reading and increasing my skills or learning something new, whatever it was time to put myself first for that 1 hour. So I don't know when your time is that you are more alert. You could be more alert at midnight rather than 5 a.m. like I am. But I want you to really start fetching in some time, some self-care time. Now, everybody's self-care time is completely different. It looks completely different. Your self-care time could be putting your feet up, having a cup of hot cocoa, and reading a few pages of a book. That could be your self-care. But you are placing you forward for that 1 hour, respecting yourself for that 1 hour, and placing it into your life so that it's just about you and nobody else. And it's about what you want to do in that Pacific hour and got nothing to do with anybody else. So it's respecting yourself. So back to me being ill this weekend. I was sick. I felt it on the Friday night, and I knew instantly it's self-care. So it's not selfish, it's self-care, it's self-respect. I knew that I am not going to be no good to anybody if I don't give myself 2 days bed rest. It was on a weekend, I'm not at work, so what could I do? Well, I could bed rest. That's what I could do. And while I was on bed rest, I got to actually read through my new manuscript from my new book, which was awesome because I got to do that. So my mind was active, I was resting, and I was reading through my manuscript, and I enjoyed it. And now, if I hadn't have done that, believe me, I wouldn't be sat in front of this camera right now if I hadn't given myself, gifted myself, respected myself with 2 days bed rest over the self-care. I wouldn't be sat here. I wouldn't be speaking to you right now. I don't think I'd be half as well as I would be if I hadn't have done it. Because I took that time, I respected myself. I knew that if I don't give myself this, if I don't gift myself this, by Monday morning, I'm going to be a complete mess. I'm probably going to be ringing in sick to work, saying I can't come in. I'm probably going to be completely sneezing and coughing and spluttering over everybody because I chose not to rest. You know, that's what I used to be like. I used to push myself to the extreme. I used to push myself way beyond more than my body was capable and suffer more immensely because I didn't self-respect myself and I didn't respect myself enough to give myself the self-care that my body needed. So I've given myself the self-care that I actually needed this weekend to actually be in front of you right now. So I want to talk about your self-care. Let's talk about it. Where do you give yourself it? Do you actually give yourself it? And if you don't, where can you start to give yourself some self-respect and some self-care? Because we really deserve it. We need to give ourselves this respect as human beings, as mothers, as partners, because it can't be all about other people. If it's always about all other people and you're constantly giving yourself to other people all the time, by the time it gets to you having your time, you're going to be completely knackered. All you're going to want to do is sleep. You're going to feel exhausted, burnt out. And that's not living, my friend. That is existing. Because by the time it gets to your time, you don't even enjoy it. And you want to be enjoying it. Whatever your self-care looks like to you, whether it's you just reading in the morning, journaling in the morning, that time is sacred and it's supposed to be your time, your self-care time, your respect time, your time gifted to you. So where can you place this into your life today? Because I've been doing it for many years over the past, I would say 8 years, and it's changed my life dramatically. And I mean, it's not going to change your life in like 2 minutes flat. It's just not going to happen. You've got to get into a routine, and this has got to be normal, and this has got to be scheduled. Now, if you can't do this through the day because it's impossible, because you've got to work or you've got too much on during the week or anything like that, then start to go to bed earlier. Go to bed earlier for 1 hour on an evening and get up 1 hour earlier when the kids are asleep, when nobody's around, when the house is quiet, and sit down and have that time for you. Even if it's just sitting there, not reading, not listening to anything, and just drinking your coffee. That is self-respect, because you are respecting your time to sit there and just think, or to sit there in silence and enjoy it, or to enjoy just being at ease and enjoy being at peace. You'd be surprised how much this would really influence your life when you start placing it into your life. Or start recognizing when you're sick that you need to have rest, that you need to really place self-care in front of absolutely everything, the importance of it. Because if you don't, and you go way beyond that point and you push beyond that point, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get more sick, more worn down, more burnt out, and you're going to feel terrible. And I don't want that for you, because I used to do that. I used to do that in the past, and I would push myself to the point where I suffered from burnout, where I was completely fatigued. And I mean adrenaline fatigued. I would be, for instance, say on a Friday evening when we used to go grocery shopping, me and my husband, this is how bad I used to be. I'd probably worked about 80 hours that week, pushed myself to the extreme, and I would get a little cold like I've got now, like you can hear that I've got it. And I would think, oh, it's only a cold. I will push myself past this. I've worked 80 hours this week. I'm superwoman. I can do this. I've got to go get the grocery shopping now so that the kids can eat all week. And I would just be drained to the point where I couldn't get out the passenger seat of the car. I would have to send my husband into the grocery store, which is a challenge for him because he hates grocery shopping. And it used to be me knowing what I was going to pick, what groceries I was going to get. It was all in my head. It was not in a list. And I would be sat on the passenger seat of the car, excuse me, and I would be able to move. I would be absolutely drained. I couldn't move my body. I would be absolutely drained on the passenger side. And he would say to me, "You're coming in doing the grocery shopping." I'd be like, "Love, I can't move. I've pushed myself far too far. I haven't even got the energy to get out of this car." I couldn't move my body. My body had given up on me. This is the extreme that I used to push myself to, because I didn't respect myself enough and I didn't give myself enough self-care, because I placed everything else before me. I placed my entire business before me. I placed the kids before me. I placed my husband before me. I placed everything way before me, to the point that I would get to the point where I couldn't move, physically couldn't move. And that was so unfair. It was unfair on my husband because he didn't have a clue how to do the grocery shopping, or what I was cooking for the next week, or what menu was inside my head, or what I needed to get out the grocery shop to make it all, prepare for it all for next week. He didn't have a clue. I was putting that burden on him now. I was placing the burden on him that I had pushed myself to the extreme and put everything else first, that I had no energy and that I was burnt out, that I was adrenaline fatigued and I couldn't move my body. I was now placing this pressure on him because I didn't respect myself enough to have boundaries to say no to people when I was working with them, because I let them walk all over me. And that, on top of working so many hours, working with having my children at home, trying to be a housewife, I was pushing myself and my body to the extreme. So when I got a little cold like this, it wasn't 2 days bed rest. It was keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep hustling, keep pushing, got to keep going, got to go faster, got to keep doing this, to the point that I would go boom, and my body could not move. And I pushed myself to that point of desperation where I was trying to get my body up off a seat, or I was trying to get my body off the bed, and it wouldn't do it. I know how bad it can be when you push yourself to the extreme, to the complete extreme, because I was so focused and determined and locked in this selfish, workaholic way that I didn't see what I was doing to myself, and I was destroying myself, and I wasn't gifting myself the self-care that we truly respect, that we really deserve, and that we really should respect ourselves for. So when I'm going back to this weekend's experience of me getting a slight cold on Friday, pushing everything aside and saying, right, no, 2 days bed rest. And I even said to my husband, you've got to give me 2 days now. We're not doing anything this weekend. We haven't got anything planned. So let me take these 2 days to rest so I can get back on my feet for Monday and carry on through the week as normal. And I did that. I rested. Was it boring? Yes. Was it frustrating? Yes. Was it annoying? Yes. Because there's nothing more boring and frustrating than laid in bed watching movies when you could be doing something. It was annoying. And that's how I felt, because I'm constantly on the move, and I like to be like that. I like to be doing stuff. But because I had to gift myself that self-care, and I had to relax, and I had to respect my body, because I know that if I push it too far, I know how far it can go, to the point of extreme, to the point where it would have got to Wednesday and I wouldn't have been able to move my body. Then what would I say to people? How would I even get to work? What would I say to people? Oh, I can't move because I pushed myself too hard this weekend and didn't respect my body enough. So I really want you to take from my past failures and my past experiences and all I've done on this journey of self-growth, and really place it into your life. And I don't want you to push yourself as far as I did. I don't want you to have the repercussions of pushing yourself as far as I did, because it is not worth it. Anything that strains your health, it is just not worth it. So I want you to respect yourself, and I want you to place self-love into your life and see how you can place it into your life, and where you can place it into your life, and what will it look like. Like I said, it could look like just reading a book for an hour in the morning before the house entire wakes up. It could be going for a walk, a 3-mile walk, a 1-mile walk to the beach in the morning when you drop the kids off to the school. Self-care is in so many different dimensions. But what does it look like to you? And how can you place it into your life so that you respect yourself on a higher level? So I hope this really has helped you today, because it wouldn't have helped you if I hadn't have put 2 days of self-care in front of myself. If I hadn't have put myself in bed for 2 days, if I hadn't respected myself for 2 days, I wouldn't be speaking to you on here right now. In fact, it'd probably be a whole lot of coughing and spluttering. I've only coughed once. It might have been a whole lot of coughing and spluttering. It might have been me sounding major terrible. It might have been me not even sat here dressed and ready to go out the door for work. It might have not even been any of that if I hadn't have put these 2 days before myself, if I hadn't have respected myself high enough to have self-care for myself. So I'm hoping that you do this as well, and I hope you apply it to your life, because it is amazing, and it has amazing properties for your life and results as well. And if you keep applying it and keep applying it and keep applying it, you will see the results yourself. So I'm going to leave you here today. I've talked over a few more minutes, actually 19 minutes. Never mind, it's now 19 minutes of motivation. So thank you so much for listening. If you are listening on iTunes, well, thank you so much, and do leave me a review. If you are watching this on YouTube, then don't hesitate to give me a thumbs up and comment underneath and tell me how this video has helped you, and how are you placing self-care into your life, because I would really love to know. Have a beautiful day, and I shall be back next week with another 15 minutes of motivation, and hopefully I will sound so much more better because I will give myself more self-care on an evening when I come home, because I'll be going straight to bed. Oh yeah, resting all week until I'm absolutely 100% again, because I respect myself enough to give myself that self-care till I'm 100% again. So have a beautiful day. If you need to know any more information about me, please don't hesitate to go over to www.katebatten, that's KateBatten.com, or you can follow my Fugitive Mums page, which is on facebook.com/Fugitive Mums, where you can find out events that I host in my town, and you can also come along as well, because we host events for mums who are dealing with anxiety, isolation and stress, and it'd be great to see you there. So have a beautiful day, and I shall speak to you very soon. Bye for now.